בשם השם נעשה ונצליח. דיילי מוסר פעם חוק לישראל, פרשת ויחל, יום שני, Monday, from ספר שערי קדושה, חלק ב' שעה ד'. אמרו בזוהר הקדוש פרשת תרומה. It is mentioned by our rabbis of blessed memory in Parashat Teruma, brought in Zohar, Gufeihun the Sadiqa delo it Mashekhu behai alma batar hanayin hahi qelipa, that the body of Sadiqim do not desire in this world, the Olam Hazeh, the desires of that which are called the desires of mundane qelipot, which means the ta'avot and ata'anugim. The Sadiqim do not pursue the mundane desires. La shalta alayhu ruach mesa'ava kelal, that the spirit of desires do not rest upon them. They are not tempted to go after the mundane desires. Lefi delo it annegu behai alma ella mit annugei de mitzvah veshabatin vechagim. Why? Because to them the real desire, the real enjoyment in this world, right, is non-existent. Rather, the mitzvot of the desires of mitzvot are important to them. The desires that are limited to Shabbat and Chagim, that's when they really enjoy the Olam Hazeh. That's when they go after good meals, right? Other Tanugim. And even that we mentioned needs to be not too much. Hahu ruach Mesava lo yachil leshalata alayhu kelal, that because of this, that they are watchful of their desires, then the spirit of impurity would not come upon them and would not take over. There is such a thing as called the spirit of impurity, ruach hatuma, that can take over. Kevan delo itnaegu medilei klum, because they don't enjoy, right, these mundane desires. They are not after mundane desires, and because they don't have so much desire for it, this ruach tum'ah cannot come and bother them at all. Vei ithanei midilei beyoma dechol. And if an individual came and enjoyed of the other desires of the mundane during the weekdays, Ale itmar, it is mentioned about him in Malachei, Shavu Mazhir Hanavi, Et HaKohanim She'im lo yitenu kavod laHashem that the Navi comes and he warns the Kohanim that Kohanim, you need to give honor to Hashem when you bring the sacrifices, right? That it should be to Hashem, not for your own pleasures, not that you have the kebab, right, the barbecue or other kavod that it comes with the korban. As if then is not Zerite Peresh at Penehem Peresh Hagechem Bechule Efzar Zevel Vesoa Hagorbanot Shahanicham Mecheribam Bechagim al Penehem Bechen Yeh Adam Hanaa. Oh, if I understand correctly, that if they are not directing all those korbanot for the sake of heavens, for the honor of Melech Malchei Melachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then it is as if the experiment, right, of that Qurban, right, is splashed over their face, the face of Kohanim lo aleinu, because they did not use these Qurbanot for the sake of heavens, L'Shem Shamayim. And so too this applies to any individual who is indulging, right, into the desires, worldly desires of mundane, according to Masachet Shabbat, Daf Quf Nun Aleph Amud Bet. Betana de Eliyahu, and Eliyahu Hanavi Zachor Latov teaches us, Im lo zacha adam la Torah shetachnis b'ma'av. If a person is not hasn't been zoche, or for whatever reason lack of education, he cannot be zoche to the keter of Torah, to the crown of Torah. He cannot be. He doesn't learn Torah, or he doesn't understand Torah. Then what should he do? Yevakesh rachamim al achila ushetiya yetera shelo yikanes letoch me'av. So at least what he should do as a backup, as something that could help him. He cannot learn Torah. He doesn't have the chokhmah, the intellect, the means of learning Torah. At least he needs to besiege. He needs to ask Hashem, allow me that the ruach tum'ah, the impure spirit, right, do not go into my stomach. And if he gives such a prayer, Azay yuchal lizchot Torah, if he is careful about watching what it goes into his stomach, then he can be zoche to learn Torah. So the remedy is to have Torah, to learn Torah, is to limit yourself about, right, having mundane pleasures. V'amru qadmonenu, and our rabbis of previous generations teach us, hageder hamufla, right, what is the best good that should come upon a person? Leharchik min havonot umeruach hatom'ah. The best thing is always distance yourself from impurity and sins. Hu sheyigdor asmo min ma'achal hamutar. So what is the way to do that? Right? Limit yourself from that which is permissible to you to be eaten. Yes, you can go right, buy everything these days kosher, Gilad kosher. Harav Eliezer ben David alav shalom said over. He said he always used to say, right, these days you could even find, right, things that seemingly look not kosher, cheeseburger kosher, this tava, that tava, everything. They come up with a version that is a kosher version, but is that good to go after? No. Right? Qadesh asmecha b'ma shemutar lach. Right? That one needs to sanctify himself with that which is permissible to him. Limit yourself. Right? And Harav ben David alav shalom used to say that these days we are in the galut of kashrut. Oh, how come? There's so many hechsher companies, right? Because unfortunately the quality is not the same, and there is so much temptation, right? Uchtiv, and it said in Mishleh, Shomer piv ulshono shomer misarot nafsho, that a person who watches his mouth and his tongue, his speech, he is watching his soul from many averot. What does that mean? Shomer piv, that he is careful of that which goes in his mouth. As Rambam teaches us, you are what you eat. You are what you eat. Right? So Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen. Wa Amen.